You are now tuned into the Making a Change Group's Community Report every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and CMPRadio.net's platform. Making a Change Group is dedicated to empowering youth, strengthening families, and serving as a community connector for the city of Chester and Delaware County. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Making a Change Group. We are having a ton of conversation today about just everybody still feeling sick and how I'm not sure if COVID is really out of play. It might be colds, it might be, it might be allergies, but I don't know. We got about 3 or 4 folks in the office out sick, which leaves a skeleton crew, but I don't know. One of our early conversations right before we came on was about how important masks are and where they fit into this. But let's get into the announcements first. Let's talk about what's going on in our community this week and for the next coming few weeks. So we have our big, super important Making a Change Group group event, Queens Mentoring Queens. This is our second meetup for this series with the Queens. We also had our big Kings event, G's Mentoring G's event. Now it's time for the ladies to get together and talk to each other, not just our older ladies talking to the younger ones, but getting a conversation between the young ladies and their aunties and moms and grandmoms and godmothers. So that's going to be tonight, ladies, at Toby Farms Middle School, and that's at 201 Bridgewater Road. That's right in Brookhaven. Everybody knows that's right. That is the school, the middle school that serves the entire Chester Upland school district. We will be there from 5:30 to 7:30, and we're going to have food. We're going to have amazing conversation, and that's what it's all about, having the dialogue between us and our young ones, and the young ones feeling comfortable and safe to talk to us. So we're going to be talking about, our topic tonight is self-care and how that determines how we take care of ourselves. And we have a special guest on that's going to talk with me a little more about that as we go along. Our next event that we got going on here in the city is Strong African American Families. This is an amazing series of workshops that you do along with your family. And the information is going to be on our website. There's going to be a link there, but it's fun, it's free. It is family-based programming that is built to help the entire family communicate better and spend time together and have better relationships. So make sure you check that out. That is going to be super amazing. Green Lawn Cemetery, we're doing the second annual cleanup project, and this is going to be over a couple of Saturdays. This is this Saturday, May 14th, and next Saturday, May 21st. They're both going to be from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. And just like last year, we need volunteers, lawn care equipment. Bring your mowers, your trimmers, your rakes, your blowers, all that stuff. All donations are welcome. This is a big, huge volunteer effort to make sure that our family members and our ancestors that are interned at Green Lawn, that they're there respectfully. The family that owns that property has fell on hard times, and it is up to us as a community to really make sure that we do what we can to take care of that space. It provides peace and comfort when we can go there. If you visit your graveside for your family and ancestors, for it to be clean and well taken care of. So make sure you reach out to Dr. Dexter, J. Francis, and Ms. Twyla Simpkins for more information. This Saturday, everyone who is looking for career help, for job resources, parents, if you're looking for resources for your young people, especially to learn more about what's happening at the end of this school year and into the summer, you want to make sure that you get out to Chester High School for the Career and Parent Resource Fair. This is a collaborative effort between Making a Change Group, the Chester Upland School District, and the Boys and Girls Club. Then you know that our programs and the Boys and Girls Club always have amazing content. There's always going to be great programming. There's going to be great guests there. And we have employers that are coming that are ready to hire. So please be there on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. There'll be breakfast and snacks given away. So breakfast starts at 9 o'clock. The fair opens promptly at 9:30. It is free admission for you, your family, your relatives, people from outside the area. Make sure you invite everybody down. It is a quick opportunity for you to get in front of employers who are ready to hire right now. You'll also be able to get more information about our summer programs. Let's skate in the park. Everybody loves to skate, right? And it is about that time. We are going to be at Chester Park on Saturday the 28th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to be entering the main entrance, which is the 2500 block of Edgemont Avenue. So come around the front through the big stone arches. Skates will be available for those of us that don't have ours. It is hosted by the city of Chester. We're going to be contacting Amanda Johnson. She's at 610-447-7718 or ajohnson@chestercity.com. Definitely come out. The music is going to be by DJ G Woo. So definitely come out. It's going to be sponsored by the city, Chester City, and Amachi Chester. So definitely come out, have some fun. You know, those of us that are old school, let's show the young ones how we do it on our skates, and we'll see you there on the 28th. Chester Day Festival. This event is sponsored by the Chester Fire Department. It is on June the 11th from 11 a.m. to 6:10 at Chester Park. Welcome to Chester. Come out and see what our fire department is doing. It is going to be fun for the whole family. Definitely come out and support. Bring the young ones. Talk to them about what they do in Chester, how they save lives in our community, and what type of careers are available for men and women that are interested in working with our great fire department. And on June 18th, Saturday, yes, June 18th, I had a brain freeze for a moment. There is going to be a prostate cancer walk. There's going to be giveaways, definitely family fun. It's going to be hosted down at Subaru Park. You want to register before the 31st. It's called Taiwan On for Prostate and Colon Cancer. It's the 4th annual event that is going to be held to bring awareness about the dangers of prostate cancer and how it is preventable. So you definitely want to be there. You want to get that information. The website information will be on our website as well for you to be able to register for that event. And last but not least, the Chester City and the county are doing a big career fair as well. Right after you leave Chester High School on Saturday, get on over, stay in that mindset, get right on over to the city so that you can meet even more employers. Bring your resume. There's going to be positions and that are open, ready to get filled, on-site interviews. So once you do your first stop at Chester High this Saturday, from 9 to 1, head right over to Chester City at City Hall. That's where the city and the county are going to be hosting a 2-day county-wide job fair. It's on Saturday and Sunday, May 14th and 15th. They'll finish at 4 o'clock on Saturday. So you have time to do both events and then head back to the city to do even more networking for jobs and careers that are open in the county and the city. So it's lots going on here in town, folks. Definitely want to make sure that everybody is aware of everything that's happening. What we want to talk about first, before we let the guys hop in, with Gio and his segment, I want us to talk about what self-care looks like. So I invited Ms. Tanera Willis on, and she is an author from the city, born and raised author. She is a successful career in nursing on her own, but she's got some amazing contributions to a book that we are using with our reading circle called 100 love letters to my girls. I don't know if you can see it right here, but she is one of the contributing authors, and she and I had a very interesting conversation about how we think of ourselves determines how we take care of ourselves. And this is important for men and women. It is our topic for our last G session and our upcoming Queen session tonight. And it's about self-care. And a lot of times we think about it as, just what we see about spa and, pampering yourselves and all of that. But really, we're approaching it from a perspective where men and women we have to think of ourselves in a way that's healthy so that we can take care of ourselves and help ourselves stay healthy. So, Tanera, welcome. Please definitely introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your journey.
Hi, good morning, everybody, and thanks for having me on today. Like she said, I'm Tanera. I am a registered nurse of maybe about 17, 18 years. I work for Morris Children's Hospital, which is formerly known as AI DuPont Hospital for Children, as a registered nurse.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. But outside of that, I have a passion to connect with my community, who look like me, who've experienced what I've experienced. And I've always had a vision of creating a book that would inform, educate, inspire, and connect with the youth. Because when I was younger, I was wishing someone was there to tell me how I could be who I wanted to be, how I could have what I wanted to have, and how to persevere in the midst of all the things that I've seen, experienced, and what was around me. So when I got the opportunity from Sharita to write love letters to my girls, I'm like, oh, was on my vision board. So I was happy to be a part of this great community of Black women who are speaking to the hearts of Black young girls and women, just telling them that you are beautiful, you are amazing, you can have all the things that your heart desires. You don't have to fear, you don't have to have doubt, and you don't have to conform. So I just want to, I thank you guys for using our book to inspire the young women. And I'm happy to be able to contribute to such a beautiful project.
Yeah, we're really excited too, because when I talk with you, you mentioned that the way we're using the book in a reading circle and allowing people to have their, to express their concerns, questions, and comments about it, and just relate what you wrote to their experience and then share it with others is exactly how you visioned it happen. So talking a little bit about visions, you mentioned a vision board. For people who don't know what that is, tell us, what that is for you and when you first made yours and what made you do it.
Absolutely. I think every single person, child, man, woman should have a vision board. And your vision board doesn't have to be typical or be a certain way. Your vision board could be your notes in your phone. It could be stickies on your mirror. It could be traditional on cardboard. It just kind of outlines what you want and how you plan to get there. So just starting with a vision, just saying, the Bible quote is write the vision and make it plain. And the purpose of a vision board is to see what you want on a regular basis. So you can have regular reminders to drive your actions and behaviors to create that. So whether you're writing with a pen and a marker or you're cutting out things from a magazine, you should have a regular reminder of who you want to be and what steps you want to take to get there. And then, like I said, that will continuously remind you, oh, I'm not working towards that. What do I need to do today to get to that? And, even baby steps matter. Some people are going to jump by leaps and bounds and some people are going to move slow, but just keep moving.
But unfortunately, I think, and you guys, I want you the men to jump in. I believe that a lot of times when we start thinking vision boards, I think that the guys just kind of tune out. They don't think that it's for guys. I think, I think they believe it's girly, and that I believe that limits us when we think that we don't put a picture up, maybe, and I don't want to generalize, so you guys correct me, I know you will, but if you can put up a picture of, back in the day, there were pinup posters of women. Or when we were teenagers, we have posters of, singers that we like, and guys did this too. You guys did this too. It might not have been singers and
athletes
like that. Who do y'all? How do men create something like a vision board, even if you don't call it that? What do you guys do?
I would like to think that because of social media and because of all these different outlets, like we have kind of gotten away from that. But I remember when I was growing up, I definitely had posters of my favorite athlete. I definitely was always taught, write stuff down, write things down. I grew up in a household that, if you were going through something, my mom would, hey, write that down and put it in the Bible, put it under your bed. We grew up like that. And I think because of social media and because of the stigmatism of, oh, that's girly, that's something that girls do, that we have gotten away from that. But I'm definitely one of those people who was always raised to write things down.
Well, doesn't everybody like cut out a picture of the car that they want? I mean, that's
I have it on my phone. it's the backsplash to my phone.
So maybe social media, the way it's just translating it different.
Yep.
Or you put it on a poster or you hung it on your wall. Now you got it on your phone.
The thing about social media is it doesn't make it personal anymore. Mm-hmm. Before those things were in our room. Mm-hmm. If you made it to see my room, that was personal. Mm-hmm. So if you made it into my space, that was personal. So I think what's happening is we're posting. Excuse my voice. We're posting these things on social media, and it's not personal anymore.
I don't know, Josh. I don't know. Maybe our Facebook pages and our Instagram pages and our Pinterest and our TikTok, maybe that is our new virtual vision board, because how many of you have the picture of your family?
But when you think about a vision, your vision is your vision. It's personal.
Right.
When you start sharing that vision, you start allowing people to interpret what your vision should look like. Oh, that's not right. Maybe that's girly. Oh, no, I don't like that. So now it's not personal. My vision, some of my most personal things, they're in my journal. They're personal. My vision, that's my vision. I have to protect that. So a lot of times I think what happens is when we share it with the world, it becomes the world's vision and it doesn't become just yours, because now you're allowing people to interpretate what that looks like, what it should be. You allow people to add ideas to your vision and things that you might not necessarily align with, but now you have shared this personal thing with the world and you allow people to interpretate.
I don't know.
And can I add something to that?
Go ahead.
I think social media is also a distractor, and it distorts your vision because it distracts you from now. We get caught up on it. Now we're on there for hours. Now these are 3 hours I could have been working towards my personal vision. And then now I'm distorted because I'm seeing images every day that makes me want something that is not my personal dream or desire, because I see everyone else has it. And it makes me start to believe this is what I should have, or this is what I should attain. So it could be distracting and a distortion where that's not, I agree with John, your personal vision should be highlighted there, but it should be in a personal space for you and your family to build on. So as a family at the beginning of the year, we make it, my husband, my son and I, we all make one. We make a family one, a personal one, and then we work towards that and we check in with each other. So I agree. It should be in your personal space, and your highlights, could be on social media, but your time, your energy and stuff should not be there. It's a distraction and a distortion for me.
I agree. It can waste time. But go ahead, Richard.
I was going to say, speaking, on the topic of self-care, that's what, these vision boards are for. I think they're for for me, right? They're for myself. And I noticed when talking to a lot of young ones, sometimes I'll do these I'll do intakes in my past. I've done intakes. One of the questions were, what are your personal strengths? And you'd be surprised how many people will stop, pause, and have a hard time to answer that question. Because they're not really thinking, and they don't know how to think internally or meditate, or really, they don't really have this answer. And I'm really surprised. And then the more I got to know them, I would find out that this individual is trying to help mom, dad, their grandmom. They're doing everything else but something for themselves. So when it takes time to slow down, it's like they really have to think hard. So the vision boards for me when I was doing them, and to answer your question, is it a girly thing? I don't think so, but I wish I would have learned it sooner. I had learned about vision boards probably about 5 years ago. I wish I would have knew it way back, because it helped me not only visualize but speak these things into existence. And that was a big thing for me. When I realized that, I shared that with my students. So in the past, when I did work for a GED program, I remember they were going to throw away a cap and gown, and I said, "No, give me that." And I did an empowerment session where we did a make-believe graduation, and everybody's goal was to wear the cap and gown and have a speech ready for their loved ones. But when they put the cap and gown on, the realization that this could be me in a couple months, that was serious. That was serious. That was the first. And I wouldn't call that a vision board, but that was the first hint towards, like, I need to really see myself and perceive myself in these things, in these ways, and go orient myself to achieve these things. Yeah. And man, we were doing vision boards and making things come into existence. It was quite a topic.
So it comes in different ways then. And what I mean by social media or our technology being a version of that, because just think, on everybody's screensaver has one of the most important things to them. Whatever your most important thing is, whatever you're thinking about the most, is usually on your screensaver. So for me, it's my little niecey. You know, she's just a happy, smiley baby. So when I look at it, it makes me happy. A lot of people have their families. Some people have their cars, their dogs. And think of it this way, when you're going to go on vacation, you put that picture on your phone. It's usually on your computer screen or something. So I'm thinking, for people who don't traditionally know about like a vision board, you can use your homepage for your Instagram as that. And to Josh's point, I don't read comments. So I don't know what people are saying about whatever I put. I put what I want out there, and I don't really read it. So I don't know what's going on with people's opinions. So I'm not really taking it in. But I do know when I want to remember something, when I remember an event or something, I'll put that picture on my social media. And then when I go back, I just look at my homepage. So I see all of these pictures that would traditionally be when you think about a vision board, in your room or in your home or on your refrigerator or something like that for your family to see. I think there's a lot of ways that we can use it. I don't think we need to take everybody's negative comments to heart, but if you want to just use it as a safe place to save your pictures of what you want and what's important to you, I think we can do that.
I think wherever you put it, it should be in a place that, it's easily accessible or right there, because along with self-care, when I was learning about self-care, I realized how easily I'm distracted. Mm-hmm. So something that, and I think the phone is a good point, right? Everybody picks up their phone every once in a while, just to have it right there to remind yourself, to keep yourself on track. So definitely have it in a place where, you can pick it up, you can look at it and bring yourself right back on track.
Yeah. I don't want to have Tanera all in our conversation and miss her chapter. Can you talk a little bit about your contribution to this book, and just getting used to the topic and just why you wrote, or what your message was in your letter?
Mine was about self-worth. It was something that I was a confident young lady, but I still feel like there was opportunities where I didn't exercise my self-worth or value what I was risking. So I kind of wanted to speak to that experience, because a lot of times, unfortunately, we realize these things in hindsight, once we already have risked whatever that thing is, or put ourselves in a situation we don't want to be in. So I kind of tried to speak to what another thing, like I said earlier, what I wish I was told or heard or learned when I was younger.
Tell people a little bit about what I know you were born in Chester and everybody knows that, but just tell us a little bit about your background so people can have a context of how much you've achieved in your life.
Oh gosh. I guess, so positive and negative, or just
whatever. You give us a little snapshot of who you are so people can kind of see the journey.
Okay, so I was born in the projects to a 17-year-old woman to that had maybe, I think, 26-year-old hustler as a father, inner city projects, drugs, violence, poverty, inappropriate touching as a youth, peer pressure. And those are just a few things. Poor school systems. So definitely I feel like I always tell people I'm one of the true examples and versions of started from the bottom down. Now I'm here, or the rose that grew from concrete. So I don't take my accomplishment lightly, and I don't play with anybody who threatens them. So if you ever see anybody who feels like they're going to threaten them, you're going to see a different version of me, because what I've had to overcome and surpass and fight for, nobody gets to take that from me. Nobody gets to devalue that. And I also don't live in self-pity because of it, or live in grief because of it, or live in hate or resentment because of it. Because we can't do that. Those things will hinder us.
Right.
And it's like just knowing your value is what I wanted to write to the young ladies, knowing your worth, and also knowing what you're risking. And I think we say know your value, know your worth, know your beauty, but we don't talk to kids to say, this is what you're risking from these behaviors. This is what you're risking from these choices. And what do you hope to be? And I think that's another thing. We don't tell them to live like what you want to be. A lot of times we're living like what we are, what we see, and what we have, instead of living like what we want to be or what we want to attain. And we got to constantly affirm ourselves and remind ourselves of that. And then that'll hopefully instill in us a different self-discipline, resistance to different things, not conforming and not being afraid to be different and to set apart. Because in our environment, and again, with social media being such a big draw and pull, we conform to what we see and what's popular and what's comfortable, instead of, creating your own narrative. We can't allow ourselves to be hindered by other people's expectations or what other people's norms are. And I think that's going to help a lot of people when you dare to be you and not live to other people's expectations and what you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And the community, the neighborhood influence is hard too. Mm-hmm. And, we work with young people that are in the middle of one of the hardest times, periods in your life, becoming a teenager and, adolescence and into teenage and early adulthood. It is, you rely so much on your friends.
Yes.
You have adults, even if you have great adults, sometimes we just don't want to listen to them at that point of our life. And I think that this message is important for men and women. We talk to our young women a lot about, like you said, knowing your worth and all that. I don't know if we have that same conversation with our young men. And Gio and the guys were talking about it last Thursday. And then Gio was talking about it on one of his lives yesterday, that what we want for ourselves, we have to show our young, I think, Gio, you were talking about primarily young men, but just showing them that we trust them and that we support them. Like these same messages that we use different words for the girls, it sounds more flowery, but we mean the same thing for the young men at the same time. And I don't want us to, when we start talking about self-care, I don't want our guys to tune out. It's the way we think about ourselves is how we're going to live. How we see ourselves is how we live. So if our girls, if we can encourage them to protect themselves and their worth, we need to be having that same conversation with the men, but it's just different words. Gio, can you speak to that?
You said speak to
just how we encourage our guys the same way we are talking about the girls, like knowing their worth. And we tell the girls all the time, protect yourselves. You're a princess, you're queens, you hold a standard for yourself. Mm-hmm. That same conversation should be for our men, but how do we say that to our young men?
I mean, it's difficult to teach somebody their self-worth. Like, for me, I think it's more of an example by showing somebody how you move and how you carry yourself and the positive aspects that's bringing to you. more or less make them want to follow in that train of thought. You know what I'm saying? I can't really tell somebody how they should feel about themselves. I try to, but I don't find that work. I find that by me just going about the way I do business and conduct myself with them, how I check in on them, how I deal with them on their level, as they growing, they finding that that's the better way to move. They see a difference in conflict resolution. Like if they see me in the mix, if they see me in the mix with somebody, they see it's going to turn different. They're going to see how I'm going to react to it and how I'm going to try to coach them to move a different way. So it's kind of like that. I kind of look at it like teaching by example.
Yeah, like, that's different. That is definitely a different conversation, because with girls, we approach it so different. We are literally telling them, this is how you should think. This is how you should act. This is what you should do. If this happens, you do this. And with men, we take such a different approach. And maybe not when they're younger. You know, the younger they are, I think the more we can influence them. But once
because only speaking for me, in my perspective, once boys get to a certain age, you can't tell them anything. Like, that's just how it go. Once they get in a certain space, you can't tell them. You can only guide them. Anything you tell them, they kind of rebel against. Know what I'm saying? You gotta just move them and kind of guide them. You can't really force what it is. You like with a girl and young ladies, how y'all sit them down and y'all say, y'all have to behave like this. Y'all have to be like this. As a woman, you're supposed to conduct yourself like this. Boys don't react to that type of direction. They don't react well to that. Especially boys from the street, the ones that we dealing with in the G-Vine program, that's the more violent type, the more aggressive type. They don't deal with that type of direction well.
As the lead youth development specialist, right, one of the things that I'm tasked with is the curriculum. And one of the things that's constantly on my mind is the narrative of this is for boys and this is for girls, right? Because when you're putting a curriculum together, I don't have the opportunity to say, hey, I got to separate this because you're in a classroom. I don't. So one of the things that I'm big on is that I always keep that in my mind. And just a prime example of, you know, the self-worth. If we could teach our babies who they are. And for example, one of my favorite students, her name is Gloria. I remember being in class last week and I asked her, I said, Gloria, who's Gloria? She said, it's me. And I said, well, who's me? She said, it's Gloria, Mr. Josh. I said, well, who's Gloria? She was like, it's me, Mr. Josh. What are you saying? And I remember asking, I said, what are some of the things that Gloria is excellent at? What are some of the things that Gloria could do, can nobody else do better than Gloria? She started naming all these things. Oh, I read and track and this and that and this. And I said, that's who Gloria is.
Yeah.
That's who she is. And when you teach your children who they are, what they're good at, then it makes it that much harder for someone to come in and to dictate that for them.
Right, what they're not. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So what I would say is just teach the children who they are. Help them figure that out. Because most of the kids are good at football. Most of the kids are good at basketball. They're good at reading. They're good at writing. But if we don't bring this out of them, they can't verbally say, oh, no, I'm a great writer. I'm a great reader. I'm a great track star. I'm a great leader. I'm a great follower. I'm great at giving instruction. I'm great at
following instruction. Yeah.
Yes. So
I finish my task.
I
do every part. That is strength as well, for sure.
Yes. So I love the job that I do because it gives me that perspective. It takes that out. I can't deal with this is girly and this is for boys. It's for everyone. We are all human and we all have these same struggles. And when you teach them who they are, no one could dictate that.
Yeah. One of the things that we are using Tanera's book for our reading circle, and we asked a difficult question to the ladies last week, and it was the chapter we read was about being brilliant. And we asked the ladies, what makes you brilliant? What are you brilliant at? And in the beginning, most of them said being a parent. And as women, we will fall back on that in a minute. We will put the fact that we sustain life out in front of the world and think that's enough. And I was like, nope. After the second person, the third person was Gary said, I said, nobody else gets to say that.
And real quick, Michelle, I want them to know that this is why I love doing this, because I got that from you. I remember being in the office with you, and we were talking about, what makes you brilliant. And we had this discussion. I was like, wow, that's so dope. So I love these discussions because I was able to transfer that into the classroom
and ask the kids.
Yeah.
But it's just as difficult for the adults as well. When we ask the question of the ladies in our circle, very few people, some people had to wait. They had to wait until everybody else went around because they needed time to figure out what it was. They needed examples. They didn't know right away. And what I noticed, and this was so interesting to me, is nobody asked me. Nobody asked me what I was brilliant at. And it wasn't, and I think it became really challenging for people to answer. I think it becomes challenging for people to answer the question, but I think it also becomes difficult for people to ask others the question, because it kind of gives us the idea like we're being boastful. And brilliant is like the ultimate bright reflection of light. That's the definition of brilliant. It is the level of reflection of light. So when you're brilliant, you are reflecting light to the ultimate. And I believe that, like Josh said, the conversation in our head sometimes is that if we say this about ourselves, then we're being boastful and it doesn't really lend to our confidence. But I agree that once we start helping people see what they're good at and building that part, it does make it more difficult for people to tell you what you're not. And then the more we have a conversation about how brilliant you are, and that you're brilliant in something, it could be a bunch of things, but there's going to be something that you are just flawless at. You are built for it. You are good for it. Nobody can take it away from you. It's usually the thing that we do the most, the thing that we do the easiest, and the thing that we enjoy the most. So everybody has it, and we help our young people and our older people. Tonight we'll be talking to mothers and young women, aunties and their young men. Most of the young ladies are going to be with another adult. So we want to show the strength in both so that we can support each other. So in Richard and Josh, I think one of the things that's brilliant about Josh is that he is very, very willing, very, very willing to go after the good. Like he's on it. He does not stop. For Richard, he is brilliant at, analyzing and processing and seeing everyone's perspective. In Gio's instance, he is brilliant at being an example. He talks it all the time. He says all the time, like, I am here to show the people the young men I'm working with how you can be. That right there, he shows up. Like he shows up as brilliant. Tanera, you are brilliant at, and this is from our two conversations, at, being resilient.
Mm-hmm.
You're brilliant at that because you are very willing and transparent, and you wrote it down and gave it to the world to see that this is it, but I'm not bitter about it. And that's really, really, really amazing. So once you know these things about yourself and you hear people say it back to you enough, eventually you're gonna get it and you're gonna believe that. And then nobody can ever take it away from you. So I think that's a big message for us. I think that's what I hear us talking about most today.
One of the things that I definitely learned from Tanera today was, I always say I give myself freely because I don't want people to miss the work.
That's good.
But you taught me today to be protective of that.
Oh, yeah.
Be protective of that.
Yeah.
You know, I give myself freely because I want you to see my work. But you taught me today was like, yo, it's okay to say, and if you get in the way of this, it's going to be, you can't let nobody get in the way of that. And it's okay to be protective of your brilliance.
Yeah,
It's
and one
okay.
thing I learned, sorry, Josh, from Sarah Jakes Roberts is because we grew up in Chester, is I was taught to cut somebody out, to beat somebody up when they threatened me. And Sarah Jakes Roberts, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, talked about fighting differently. And that was a woosah moment for me because I was going through something where people were challenging my career as a nurse, which was my finances and how I'm protecting my home and building my empire.
Yeah.
And my first reaction was like, I don't play nice in the sandbox. It's about to go down. They threatening me. And literally that same day when I said that to my boss, Sarah Jakes Roberts preached fight differently. And that was, it pulled it felt like it drained me of that negative reaction. Whoa. Sorry, I don't know if y'all heard that. Something fell in the house. But it taught me to kind of like persevere and fight in a different way without being physical, without being aggressive and things like that. So I just wanted to insert that in Josh's piece is I'm standing up for me, I'm advocating, I'm protecting mine, but I'm no longer going to curse you out aggressively. I'm no longer going to physically fight you, but you do not get to threaten, attack, or take what I have from me.
I wanted to speak on that a little bit because I'm hearing your story, and then I see you said have such a great smile and a great energy about you. You've done so many great things. I believe words have power, and you said some very powerful things. But I notice a lot of young individuals, they feel like to look like they're powerful in a sense, they need to be loud and cuss and this and that and put on the big show. Mm-hmm. But what I've learned are that people like yourself who've had this experience in life and are not scared to be who you are, which is smiling and this and that. Nobody would know what you went through in the past. But the one thing I've noticed about people like who've accomplished that is that they don't need to curse and yell. Mm-hmm. Usually they're a person, very few words, and they got that unique look, and it's almost it reminds me of when my mom used to just check me in church or something, and I'm like, all right, she means business, right? And I think I've seen it in the professional world. I've seen amazing people where they're not scared to be happy and show these positive vibes and move forward, but they also are able to accomplish something grand with very few words and a simple look. And people know, hey, this one means business. Mm-hmm. And I think Michelle, I've seen that from Michelle, and I applaud her on that because I think I've seen her handle some tough situations. Just say very few words, and they were super effective, and we went on about the mission. And I think that's so important for a lot of young people to know is that it's okay to smile. It's okay to be happy and whatnot, but you can be strong. Strong does not look like wilding out or this and that. You can be assertive, but it takes skill. And I applaud you on that. I said, wow, this woman, when you smile and you were talking about the things, I know you got some stories about you. Like you can really sit down.
Yeah, because she was smiling while she was saying, she was like the good and the bad.
Sometimes
then she said she was gonna get somebody. She was smiling then.
And that's why I thought words have power, because when she asked that, she's accepting of the negative part that she's experienced in life, and she realizes that's part of me, but I'm also this person now. And I thought that word.
Gotta see the word.
Gotta see the word. Right.
Gotta see the word, because it's so important for our babies to know that we didn't just land here. It's easy for somebody to see Gio now, be like, oh, hey, like you've been doing your thing, like you good, you all right? They don't know that. No, I had to put this work in to be here
and stay there. And stay there. And stay there. Yeah, that's the thing.
I have some people like the Mac group that shows a plethora of all of that, because I feel like we talked about how we show value or how we express and encourage value, but they need it all. They need the celebration and the affirmation, and they also need to see the action and love. And I do believe that women are more emotional. So that's why when we hear and say things, it's more impactful, and men are more physical. And that's why we need to see it and feel it. So I think, but we're a continuum. So we need it all, but some people need more than the other. Some people are going to need more physical, and that's why we have the love languages, because action and love and quality time and touch means better to me, where other people need affirmation, and you know what I mean? So we all need something different, but we all need all parts of that at different parts of our lives. So that's why it's great to have your group, that each person's going to bring out a different piece of that, because we need each other.
Yeah.
You know what? And I think that is so important what you said there. When I was thinking, I think the question Michelle had asked Gio is like, how do we do this with the young men? My experience is young people need that concentrated dose of what we got here in this unique group, right? They need more of these settings. The fear I have is that we'll do this, and you know what? We'll do like the Queens mentoring Queens and G's mentoring G's, which is only for a few hours. Mm-hmm. And then our babies go back into the world, into another concentration dose of something completely opposite. Mm-hmm. So we need more, and that's what makes this panel so unique. The people aboard here are so unique. The experience they come with, how powerful they are. This concentrated dose these young ones need, because as a reminder, they go right back into the world. We need more of these events, more of these get-togethers, more of leaders or people of experience who can guide these young ones and give them this concentrated dose of reassurance, love, truth, and so forth for someone. We need to keep doing this, because as a reminder to anybody who's listening, they go right back into the world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we always have to be present. It's
absolutely,
we always do. But I appreciate everybody being on, but especially our special guests. Thank you so much. We Ms. Willis, we will be definitely, she's a guest tonight, so she'll be coming out, and just hopefully you'll feel comfortable enough to share a little bit of your story, even if it's just that little bit you share with us, with the girls tonight, so that they can see somebody from their neighborhood that is live and in color, doing everything, like just achieving all kinds of accomplishments. And I want you to see that your vision for what you wrote is happening. Like I'm just so grateful that we can show her that. Like when she told me the last time we talked that her vision for her writing that letter was exactly what we're doing with our reading circle. I can't wait to introduce you to not just our young ladies tonight and our parents tonight, but to our reading circle, so that you can see what you saw. When you had your vision, it is real life. I talked to the staff. We were at a meeting, and I think I said it a couple of weeks ago. I was saying we're always sitting inside someone's vision, right? Somebody had a vision for the buildings that we're sitting in now. Somebody had a vision for it. We're sitting in it right now. Making a Change Group is the vision of someone, who had an idea about how they would affect our community. And now all of us are sitting in that vision right now. And, I want you to see, Tanera, how we're sitting in your vision, when you had the vision of what you contribute to this book. Like this was somebody's idea. You got on board, and now we are able to affect, households. Whole households in this community are being positively affected by what you saw in the other 99 women who wanted to also be a part of this or doing it now. So I'm super impressed with you. I'm super impressed with our team. Anybody else want to say anything before we wrap up?
I think I want to ask Tanera a quick question. Since you wrote the book, I love the way you were talking about your passion. I have a little girl. She is 16, going on 20 something. Yeah. But I could tell she's very frustrated sometimes. She's very frustrated. She wants to please her parents, but she's also a very young girl, experienced in the world. And if she was to sit down and write like you did, what would be an easy beginning sentence for her to start? She's very frustrated sometimes. Her writing process.
I would start with "Today I feel."
Wow.
Today I feel, and you can pour it all out. If I feel amazing, if I feel sad, if I feel pressured, I feel annoyed, I feel frustrated, and because And so I would kind of make 3 sorry. Today I feel, because, but I am should be it. The last thing. This is what I feel. This is why, but this is what I am, or this is what I am going to do. Because we always have to counter. Because I think sometimes people think when you say be amazing, you are value, you are a queen, we affirm them, but we don't say how to be that or how to feel that. You know, yesterday I posted on my social media, my son, you know, he's getting over COVID. So he was afraid to go back to school because of the pressures and the limitations he was going to have with the masking and things like that. And my son loves to dance. His love language is affirmation. So we're making a real. We're going to dance, and we're also going to go to the store. We're going to buy flowers for the teacher. We're going to buy cookies. So I'm not only worried about making you feel good, you're going to get to make someone else feel good. And then that's a transference. So we got to push past our emotions and our feelings, because our emotions and our feelings will either lie to us, they will stifle us, or they will trick us to believe something different than what we are or what we can be. So that's what you got to counter it. Those feelings are going to come. The hurt, the drama, the pain is going to come. None of us can resist it, avoid it. It's coming. But we have to learn how to live in it for a minute and then overcome it, conquer it, and to say, okay, this happened. My dad died. I was inappropriately touched. I was this, I was that, but that's not who I am. That's what I experienced. But what I am or what I will be is. So that's something you have to say, because sometimes we're not right in the pressuring of our kids. I am a helicopter mom, self-proclaimed, and I know what my son is going to be. You know, so I often tell him, this is what you are, but then I have to give him a moment to be himself. But because I am all those things and titles, and I've accomplished and persevered through so much, I have to give him a chance to do that and not expect me from him at 10. And so I have to constantly remind myself that as a parent, and let him work through that, but give him also practical tools at his age that make sense and help him get through those moments.
Thank you so much. I meant that for my daughter. Now I'm thinking about myself, though. I'm like, I need to actually do what you just said and write this down for myself.
And self-policing is amazing. We're always waiting for somebody to tell us what to do, or resistant for somebody to tell us what to do. Sometimes we know what we are doing that could be better. And I don't care how great you are. We're all doing amazing things. We all have opportunities, and we have to self-police and self-correct.
Thank you so much for the information. Super vital. Thank you.
Yeah. Gio, Josh, any comments before we wrap up?
Thank everybody for coming out, man. I really love the team. I love what I do. I always said I'm constantly posting. I love what I do. I love what I do. And it's genuine. Gio, my guy, man, I tell you this every week, bro. I literally, when you say you lead by example, I could truly say, like, that's real. I watch you. I listen to you. I'm constantly saying something I'm quoting something that you said. Bro, big ups. Rich has been on the phone with you 2:00 in the morning. Like, literally, you answer the phone anytime. Michelle, oh my gosh, you are so incredible. You are a phenomenal woman. You are a phenomenal queen. Thank you for all the love and all the nurturing that you give. Sometimes it goes unnoticed. Sometimes that behind the scenes stuff that you do, those extra phone calls, those extra texts, it goes unnoticed because it's personal, right? But thank you. We see it. We appreciate you. Tara, thank you. Tanera, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure the girls look forward to seeing you tonight. I personally won't be there because somebody gave the cooties out in the office, and we're not gonna point no names to Gio or nothing.
We ain't saying who did it.
Yeah, we're not gonna say nothing about it.
We got the lights on spray.
I didn't put it out there, brother. I didn't put it out there, brother.
Anyway, see, man, it's good to see you, sis, man. I'm proud of what you got going on, man. I'm talking about like real life. Nah, this is one of my lifelong friends. I don't say childhood friends. This is one of my lifelong friends. We grew up together. Same project, all that. Practically relatives. Hey man, you're doing it, man. I'm proud of you, sis. And
Thank
my daughter, my wife, they're gonna be up there to get with you tonight too, man. So go on, give them what you got for them, man. Get up there, man.
No pressure.
Yeah,
No pressure, right? No
know
pressure.
what's up. Real rap, I'm proud of you, man. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate you reaching back. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you reaching back out here, you know what I mean, and trying to help us get what we got going on out here, man. We need more people out here to come and get with us. I mean, step up and help. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it is, man. You ain't got my thing is, people kind of, matter of fact, before I go, I wanted to touch on what you was talking about with Brilliant, Michelle. See, it kind of throws people off because like you can look at Brilliant two different ways. You explained it as the light and all that, but for me and most people, when you say Brilliant, it kind of describes an excellence in something, like a level of supremacy. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for people to think of themselves like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Yeah.
And I don't want people to have to think they have to be like that to come and help us.
Right.
Any of your contribution is value. Anything that you got to bring to the table, you don't gotta be the biggest, the strongest, the smartest. You don't have to be at the top.
Yeah.
Anything you got to offer to bring us, to help us, to get what we got going, to situate this situation out here is appreciative.
Yeah.
Don't think of yourself as brilliant. We don't need you to be. We just need you to be willing to come out and help, willing to stand on your feet with us and do what we're doing. So I just wanted to put that in there.
I knew it was coming, Gio. I knew he was going to do this. I was being patient. I knew it was coming.
You saw it percolating. You saw
I knew it was coming.
Formulating.
You do not have to be brilliant. Just get here.
Just get here, man. Just get here, man. We need all the help we can get, man.
I love it.
Yeah, because we can convince you of your brilliance once you get here.
Yeah.
You know, we can convince you of that. I know because that's my brilliant.
Being the best you every day is brilliant.
Yeah.
Being the best you that you could be every day is brilliant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if nobody ain't never tell you, get here with us and somebody on this team gonna tell you.
We love you.
Probably be me.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for our special guests, and thank you to our guys who are always, bringing the message and pushing it forward. We're out from Making a Change Group.